You told I figured out the Key Glock didn't know he was being recorded, man. The murder of B Juke. That's how I said.
With Glock right now, fam, because his name is coming up in that Big Juke situation.
Key Glock's name has been circling Big Jook's murder for a while now, but it just got real. A new leaked recording just dropped, and fans are convinced Glock slipped up and low-key admitted to the hit. The Memphis war is about to explode.
Damn.
Down for you. When Memphis streets got hot, the hit that shook the city. The Memphis streets were about to witness some real gangster shit that cold January day in 2024. On January 13th, 2024, Anthony Big Jook Mims, Yo Gotti's blood brother and the top dog at Collective Music Group, CMG, got smoked in broad daylight in what the laws called a straight-up assassination. This wasn't no regular street beef. This was that calculated, cold-blooded type of murder that had the whole hood shook. The way it went down was some straight savage energy. Police reports say the shooting popped off around 4:15 p.m., right after Big Jook had been at a funeral repast. Memphis PD was already rolling through the area when they heard them choppers singing, and they pulled up on some real murder scene type shit.
Come on,
Witnesses
choppers
said the
singing.
shooters dipped out in a white Ford Explorer with them black rims and tinted windows. That real stealth mode. The fact that these cats had to pull this trigger in broad daylight at a funeral spot, that's some next level disrespect.
They ain't get no
Everybody
fuck.
know this beef was way past talking.
No, they was coming out the repass of the viewing of the body in a driveway. To the parking lot. I thought it was.
Huh. Okay. I may be wrong.
No, I could be
I've
wrong
heard
too.
different
Now,
stories.
bro.
I heard his mother was there. She had to run out the car. It was...
Yeah. But I could be wrong too. But that's why it was my understanding that they was at there viewing the body, and when he walked out, his mother got in the van or the truck or something, and he was standing out, and the guys attacked him.
What made this hit even more cold-blooded was who was riding with Big Jook that day. Word on the street was that Yo Gotti's mama, Geraldine Mims, was right there in the whip when them bullets started flying. And she had to bounce out that car quick to save her own life. Imagine having to watch your son get aired out like that. That's some traumatic that would haunt anybody for life.
Damn.
Yo Gotti's brother, Big Juke, recently got killed right after a funeral in Memphis. I guess his mom was around him too when it happened.
Yes.
And listen, I don't know the details of what happened. I'm not from Memphis. I know a few people from Memphis. Shout out to Crunchy Black and DJ Paul. But this seems like a continuation of the whole Young Dolph murder.
The boys in blue jumped on this case heavy, but the streets stayed silent. By September 2024, 9 months deep into the investigation, the cops still didn't have nobody locked up and no official suspect's name. That's that street code in full effect. Nobody was snitching, even with a body dropping in broad daylight. Fast forward to January 2025, a whole year after Big Jook got clapped, and the case was still ice cold. The laws weren't dropping no info, which just made the streets start talking more. When the police go quiet, that's when the hood detectives start cooking up their own theories. You can't talk about Big Jook getting murked without understanding the real beef behind it. Big Jook had been beefing heavy with Paper Route Empire, PRE, Young Dolph's crew that had Key Glock holding it down. This wasn't no rap beef. This was real street shit that had already left bodies in the streets. The tea really got spilled during Justin Johnson's trial for bodying Young Dolph. The prosecutor came out swinging, saying Big Jook had put 100 bands on Dolph's head and was throwing money at other PRE soldiers too. That's some real mob boss energy right there.
The reason I said maybe it's not, but when you read the comments, when I read the comments and I said, well, I got it, it must be that. But
you would think, like I said, I don't know. I'm just guessing, but it seems like a continuation of that. And then there was like people on the internet saying that that Jook had 40,000 on someone's head, and on Young Dolph's head. I don't know whether it's true, but this is people talking, and then it's just a disaster.
Sad.
The way Big Jook got hit spoke volumes about the level of disrespect in these streets. Getting clapped at a funeral, that's violating every street code in the book. The old heads used to say funerals were off limits, sacred ground where even your worst ops would let you mourn in peace. But these new generation shooters, they don't follow no rules.
He laughed when the man was killed, or telling them, I'm gonna pay y'all bill, I know y'all. So it's like when you get up there, man, you gotta keep in mind, you got the other people looking like, what y'all gonna do? Y'all ain't gonna So now you tested these guys' manhood.
The police response was on some military shit. When it came time for Big Jook's funeral, they had the whole spot looking like a war zone. Snipers on roofs, helicopters in the air, the whole nine.
Nah,
They
that
knew
shit
this
crazy.
when a shot caller like Big Jook gets dropped, the streets expect get back. The precision of this hit had all the hallmarks of a professional job. This wasn't no drive-by spray and pray situation. The killers knew exactly where Big Jook would be, waited for the perfect moment, and executed their plan with military precision. That type of coordination suggested this was revenge, not random violence.
As a new mom and content creator, LegalZooms really helped me out.
Damn.
I use LegalZoom to register an LLC and start a trust.
When the streets started talking. Before we get into that phantom tape story, we gotta break down the real beef that had Key Glock's name in everybody's mouth when Big Jook got dropped. This wasn't just some rap. The beef between Key Glock and Yo Gotti's camp ran deep as Memphis mud, stemming from that generational war between Young Dolph and Yo Gotti. Key Glock, born Markevius LaShun Cathy on August 3rd, 1997, came up under Young Dolph's wing in the Paper Route Empire. He wasn't just some random artist, he was family, Dolph's cousin by marriage, and the heir apparent to the PRE throne. That automatic made him an enemy in Yo Gotti's eyes. The origins of this beef go way back to when Young Dolph told Yo Gotti to kick rocks instead of signing with CMG, choosing to build his own empire from scratch. That disrespect set off over a decade of violence, diss tracks, and street politics that would eventually claim multiple lives. When the Young Dolph murder trial exposed that, Big Jook had allegedly put a $50,000 bounty on Key Glock's head, along with $100,000 on Dolph. The streets went crazy. DJ Academics blasted this info all over Instagram, and suddenly everybody understood why Key Glock might want to strike first. The tension between Key Glock and CMG wasn't just theoretical, it played out in real life. When fans asked him about working with CMG artists during a July 2023 Q-Anda, Key Glock responded with just a laughing gif. That dismissive response said everything about how he felt about Gotti's crew. Social media was on fire with this beef narrative. Twitter, X, was full of posts connecting the dots. Key Glock and Yo Gotti under the same roof means someone is leaving in a body bag. That tweet from June 2024 got thousands of retweets. Yo Gotti tous les jours et protégé Key Glock. Another viral post showing how the streets had chosen sides. Yo Gotti had put less on the head of Key Glock and Big Moochie Grape, posted in March 2025, showing the bounty rumors were still circulating. The feud wasn't just about music, it was rooted in territorial Memphis street politics that went beyond rap. Pre and CMG represented different philosophies. Dolph's independent hustle versus Gotti's major label machine. Key Glock inherited this beef whether he wanted it or not. Key Glock's own music career was taking off during this period, with albums like Yellow Tape, Dumb and Dumber with Dolph, and Glaucoma, establishing him as a force in southern rap. But every success just made him a bigger target in the eyes of CMG. The streets were talking about indirect shots too. A track called Already Know 2, Yo Gotti Diss, was floating around SoundCloud, supposedly by Key Glock, though the authenticity was questionable. There was also I Do This.
Like, people been killing forever. It's life.
But what are they actually killing for?
Nothing. But you can't, there's nothing that you can kill somebody for that validates killing.
The conspiracy theories around Key Glock were fueled by the street logic that demanded retaliation. With allegations that Big Jook had put money on Key Glock's head, the narrative of him striking first seemed to make sense to those following street rules. But the police weren't buying none of this internet detective work. As of May 2025, law enforcement's position remained unchanged. No suspects had been identified in Big Jook's murder, and Key Glock's name never came up in their investigation. The fact that he was still walking free while people claimed there was a whole confession tape showed how bogus these rumors really were. The damage from these false allegations was real though. Having your name attached to a body, especially one as high profile as Big Jook, could end careers and start new beefs. Even after the rumors got debunked, Key Glock's reputation took a hit from all the speculation. Digging into Key Glock's background didn't reveal no pattern of being a shooter or a killer. His music talked that street talk, sure, but there wasn't no evidence linking him to bodies or gang activity beyond some minor cases from when he was younger. The way these rumors spread showed how social media turned the streets into a gossip factory. One person posts a theory, it gets shared 1,000 times, and suddenly everybody knows what happened, even though it's all based on nothing. The thirst for drama and insider knowledge made people believe anything that sounded good. Mama's pain, the real cost of street beef. When the smoke cleared and the streets stopped talking, the realest pain belonged to one woman, Geraldine Mims, the queen who birthed both Yo Gotti and Big Jook. Her story ain't just about losing a son.
So they got the
it's
same
about a whole
mama.
life of struggle, hustling, and trying to protect her babies from the same streets that eventually took one of them.
And I I was explaining, and I was explaining to my daughter, because Mario is not here, I was explaining to her that this was my firstborn. I had all my mistakes. Everything I did wrong was with him. This was my firstborn. And then when I had Mario, Lil Robert.
Mama Mims kept it 100 about her past in the game. In that 2016 Born Hustler documentary, she laid it all out. How she used to move weight, how her trap houses got raided, and how her kids saw it all go down. She wasn't hiding from her truth. She owned that and talked about how it shaped her son's lives.
Shit, she was hustling.
But with him, you know, my dope house got kicked in. He was right with me. That was my only son. I kept him with me everywhere I went. Hold up. But I'm just letting you know, college student.
The most up part about Big Jook's murder, Mama Mims was right there when it went down. Multiple sources confirmed she was in that whip when the shooters pulled up, and she had to bail out while bullets were flying. Imagine having to run for your life while your son is getting aired out. That's some trauma that would break anybody's soul.
But he was with me when 3-4 dope houses got kicked in, and I blame myself to this day for his lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Because he's seen what I did.
The guilt in her voice when she talked about her past hit different after Big Jook's death. She carried that weight of feeling responsible for the path her sons took, even though she was just trying to survive and provide in them Memphis streets. Yo Gotti immortalized his mama's struggles in his track Mama, From the Art of Hustle, where he spit about watching the feds take her away during a raid. Those bars painted a picture of young Mario watching his mother get cuffed up, an image that would haunt him forever and shape his whole mindset about the game. After Big Jook got murdered, Mama Mims went ghost on the public speaking tip. As of May 2025, over a year after losing her son, she hadn't said nothing publicly about his death. That silence spoke volumes. Sometimes the pain too deep for words, especially when you know the street's still watching and listening. The family's response to all the rumors and conspiracy theories was to stay quiet and dignified. Neither Yo Gotti nor Mama Mims addressed all that key Glock speculation or the wild stories circulating on social media. They understood the game. Sometimes responding to Cap just gives it more life.
Y'all don't know about Lil Robert. I lost a son, Lil Robert, Mario, then Pooh. Then I knew to do better.
This revelation about Little Robert showed that
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by
son before Big Jook. The streets had been taken from this family for generations, and now she was dealing with the pain of losing another child to the same violence she tried to escape. The hip-hop community showed love after Big Jook's passing, with CMG artists posting tributes and condolences, but all them RIP posts couldn't bring back her son or heal the trauma of what she witnessed that day.
Like, what can stop you from wanting to do that? You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and I be like, damn, what give like people the right to say when you can kill? Cause it's people who damn, they got a license to kill, who can go, they can go kill somebody legally. What's the difference? Like, what makes their reason more valid than this young boy who just lost his brother?
21 Savage's words about the cycle of revenge hit different when you think about Mama Mims' position. She had to watch this cycle play out with her own family, knowing that retaliation would only bring more mothers the same pain she was feeling. The investigation staying cold for over a year just added salt to the wound. No arrests, no justice, no closure. Just a mother left to grieve while the streets kept spinning their theories about who killed her son. The funeral for Big Jook looked like a military operation, with snipers and helicopters monitoring everything. Even in death, the threat of more violence loomed over the family's moment of mourning.
I don't understand why that whole family even stays in Memphis.
I totally agree with you.
I think that if there wasn't, you know, because
no one thought about that. You're absolutely right.
It's time to go.
It's time to go.
It's time to go.
Imagine being in a car with your kid and they...
Because, you know, I think like one of Yo Gotti's restaurants got shot up right afterwards.
The conversation about whether the family should leave Memphis hit deep. For Mama Mims, Memphis wasn't just a city. It was home, where she raised her family, built her life, and buried her sons. Leaving would mean abandoning all those memories, both good and bad. The false allegations against Key Glock and all the internet detective work must have been especially painful for the family. Watching people turn your loved one's murder into content for clicks and views added insult to injury. The silence from Mama Mims and Yo Gotti wasn't weak of clicks and views, added insult to injury. The silence from Mama Mims and Yo Gotti wasn't weakness, it was wisdom. They understood that engaging with rumors and speculation would only fuel more drama. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all.
Legally, yes, legally.
Damn.
The irony